All right, we've been joined by Martin and Silent Size from the Boo Radleys. Now, I was looking at the album credits, Martin, and I can see that you've been busy writing all the songs. What do the rest of the band get up to then while you're busying yourself in that department?
Well, they've all kind of got their own little interests and hobbies.
You're being watched very carefully here, I can see.
Size collects comics, that's right. And Tim's got his computers and his little machines that I don't know what he does with them.
What, plays games? It's not like working or
I don't know, I really don't know.
Right. So don't you find it sort of slightly frustrating that they're pursuing leisure activities while you're putting the graft in?
Not really, no.
No?
It doesn't feel like graft, because writing songs it's pleasurable sometimes,
yeah.
even. And I haven't really got any other hobbies or interests.
Right. So these songs, did you sort of, after all the touring you did for the last album, Giant Steps, did you sort of sit down and have an intense writing period, or did these things come together while you were out on tour and stuff?
No, a lot of them were written before we actually started touring for Giant Steps.
Right. And isn't that a bit frustrating going out and you've got a
January.
batch of new songs and you want to...
It can be, yeah, but because I do demos of them, send them off to these people here,
Right.
then we've got a lot of time to like listen to them and work out what we're going to do.
Right. So the release date of the new album, Wake Up, is just in time for you to get out and do those summer festivals again, because I saw last year you did a bit of a raucous appearance at Glastonbury. Does that sort of suit the Boos, does it, the festival thing, as opposed to your straightforward sort of club and theatre touring?
Yeah, we thought so, but then we did Lollapalooza last year and that was absolute crap.
Was it? It's funny, people have like always... I would always imagine I'd meet bands come off that tour and be like, yeah, it's the greatest thing we ever did, you know?
Well, you'd think it was, because if it was like it's supposed to be, like Reading or Glastonbury every day, but it isn't.
What's the problem with it then?
There's just no atmosphere at all.
Right. Because it's a bit weird over there, like with the sort of, they have the drinking laws are different to this type of thing, and not that we all need to get boozed up to have a good time, but it's sort of. I went to a couple of them. Do you? Yeah. I'll admit to that as well. I went to a couple of them, and it just felt sort of very held back. I don't know whether that sort of suits the arena of like rock music and stuff.
That's what it was. Well, the kids were kind of there as it was almost like the circus is in town, and it was just a day out. It wasn't anything to do with the music.
Right.
And we played with Stereolab in a truck in a car park. That was the second stage.
Right.
It's about 40 people a day.
Oh, well, we'll talk more about the gigs in a bit, but right now it's the Boo Radleys and I Hang Suspended. Interrupting a decent little argument there that was going on. But so this album, Wake Up, it's your fourth. Does it get any harder, or did you walk it making this album?
This was actually the easiest album that we made.
Right.
We had the best fun because we went down to Rockfield for 7 weeks, which was far more time than we need because we record. Because you've been there, haven't you?
Well, Rockfield's like, I think, a slightly dangerous place to go because it's sort of in the middle of nowhere. You're totally catered for, and when I went, I lived nocturnally.
That's what we do. But we do that anyway. We just record during the night.
Right.
And in the day. It was good, except if you stayed there for too long, because I forgot to go home at weekends and stuff, and it all did go a bit weird after 5 or 6 weeks.
That can happen. But you produce the record yourself as well. How come you don't sort of bring in the help of a referee, at least, on the production front?
I don't know, because we know what we want.
Right.
And with the engineer that we use, we know how to get it as well, and just doesn't seem any point in bringing some bloke in who wants to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night and start really early in the morning.
Right. Well, I'm sure there's people that might be able to agree with you. But you also do production with other bands yourself, don't you?
I've done a couple of things, yeah.
Right. What was the stuff that you did last year?
Good question. I did that Dave Baker, the Shady album.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then there was a single that I've sadly forgotten, but I did buy it.
Which one? The Puppy Love Bomb?
Yes, Puppy Love Bomb. What's that like, the difference between sort of producing yourselves and going in with another band?
It depends on what the band want. I mean, Dave Baker came in, he didn't have any ideas, really, about what he wanted to sound like, so that was good. But Puppy Love Bomb had a definite idea, so that was a bit harder.
Isn't it a bit... Don't you get the feeling they sort of want you to come in and make them sound like the Boos?
No, I don't think they do, because they're always telling me not to. But yeah, it is pretty difficult.
Right. So there's a track on this new album that touched a nerve with me called Charles Bukowski is Dead. What's all that about then?
It was just written when he died in April last year. And I just wanted to write something to mark that, because I was a big fan of his writing. But I didn't want to write anything that was a bit slushy or over sentimental. So I just wrote about what I did that night.
Oh, so okay, because it just details basically you in the pub, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, that's what I was doing.
And that's the night you found out?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so just where I went, who I saw.
Right. Well, I enjoyed it anyway. Okay, then.
You weren't there?
No, I enjoyed the song.
All right.
You know, it summed up the atmosphere of the evening. I was in a bus in Leeds and it was raining. I read it in The Guardian and it ruined my whole day.
Really?
Anyway, enough about Bukowski. This is the Boo Radleys and Lazarus. Boo Radleys, and we won't carry on the conversation that they were having while you were watching that video. You've knocked up a few years now. Where do you see the Boo Radleys in the great scheme of things? Does it feel... Do you ever get to feeling like maybe you've seen a couple of bands that you just think, well, you've nicked that off us? That you've had your influence?
I don't know, actually. There's an awful lot of bands using... No, I don't know, actually.
No, I want to avoid that one.
Yeah.
Don't get into trouble. But where's it go then next for the Boos? Before we see the latest single from the album, what can we expect for the rest of '95 from the group?
Touring, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that.
All over?
I'm probably releasing 15 singles off the album.
Is it that good, do you reckon?
No, that's what the record company want to do.
Oh, OK.
And Sice will be seen at comic fairs, giving silent speeches.
Yeah, we'll enjoy that, yeah. You need an interpreter, really, for this, you know, what goes on in the Sice mind. Well, there it is. OK, then, Boo Radleys from the latest album, Wake Up. This is Wake Up, Boo. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
See you again.